Right, but on that one, I think Matt Hasselbeck had to just throw that away, because you talk about throwing into coverage. There were 3 white jerseys where he threw that ball, so it better be high and right out of the end zone. There was no way that that was going to be a touchdown. Hasselbeck looked like he hurt his hand.
He did, absolutely. He's grabbing it, grabbing the right hand, right wrist with the left hand, 2nd down and goal. So he gives the ball to Alexander, and Williams is there to drag him down by the neck. You know, the way Hasselbeck looked, I'm not even sure he could have gotten a good grip on the ball, because he was holding his hand all the way up to the line of scrimmage. Call a running play, and now let's see if the extra 45 seconds or so will enable him to throw it.
Watch Roy Williams here. I mean, when you have a guy who is an all-pro or a top safety, he has to make plays like this. This is either going to be a touchdown for Alexander or a tackle by Williams. Williams wins that battle.
3rd and goal. Hasselbeck throwing, knocked down by Newman. Ingram was the intended receiver, and Hasselbeck had all he could handle in the backfield because of the Leonardo Carson rush, and Mike Holmgren has to settle for a field goal, or at least come up and attempt a field goal.
The Cowboys are doing a good job of defense here in the end zone. You see they make Hasselbeck step up, and look at all those white jerseys in there. Terrence Newman is the guy that knocked it down, but look at all those white jerseys that are defending the end zone. There's nowhere for the green jerseys to go.
Josh Brown for a chip shot field goal of 21 yards, so they come up with 3 to make it a 12-point game. 3:01 left in the 3rd. Dallas up 29-17.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh. The NFL on ESPN. Simply the finest football on the planet. ESPN continues full-day coverage of the UEFA Champions League all the way through the championship game in May. ESPN, the home of the UEFA Champions League. Head to the gridiron for NFL Sunday Night Football, where the Oakland Raiders upset their divisional rivals, the Denver Broncos, in the snow. Kerry Collins led the attack, throwing for 339 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Jerry Porter caught 3 of them, including the game winner, as the Raiders won 25-24. ESPN celebrates the Oakland Raiders, our athletes of the week. Friday Night Fight special event. With 44 bouts under his belt, Cootie Espada will try to teach a lesson to the 6th-ranked featherweight in the world, but Rocky Juarez is hoping to take over the classroom with his 15th knockout. Friday Night Fight special event on ESPN. The NBA on ESPN continues Friday. Allen Iverson and the 76ers, succeeding in the talent-filled East, face the Chicago Bulls. Sixers versus Bulls, live Friday. The NBA on ESPN.
Join ESPN for coverage of the UEFA Champions League season as FC Porto battles Chelsea in matchday 6 action. Chelsea coach Jose Mourinho returns to Porto to face his former club.
It's #1, John. I love the way they did this park.
You know, Mike Holmgren was telling us yesterday that if it rains, and it hasn't rained here in the 3 years of this stadium, but if it rains, 70% of the people don't get wet.
They're covered by the roof as Rashard Lee runs it back. Flag is down on the play. See what they did here, I would call it, they didn't make this luxury box dominant. In other words, you go into a lot of stadiums and it looks like they're top heavy with luxury suites, and that the regular fans are sort of forgotten. But here, it's very subtly done.
There's no foul for an illegal block in the back. First down.
What are those suites they have down there in the end zone? What are those things called? Those field level suites. They look kind of interesting.
Red zone suites. They're famous, of course, because that's where Terrell Owens went when we did a Monday night game here 2 years ago after he scored a touchdown. He went over to his business manager, as I recall, And that's where you had the Sharpie incident, right in that area.
Right, you know where I'd hate to sit is way up on top of that single thing that goes up there. You look like you're in an airplane up there.
Paul Allen, of course, of Microsoft fame. Dallas, here's Jones to the 33. Jones, we asked him yesterday about the fact that he was passed over until the second round, and then a lot of people thought, well, he was the wrong call by Dallas. Here's what he said.
I knew people thought I was wasn't a good draft pick for the Cowboys, and they should have taken this guy and not pass up on this guy. And I knew that coming into it. So, I've always got something to prove. Every time I go out, every game I go out, I have something to prove. And, I just keep that chip on my shoulder to motivate me.
A lot of people felt the Cowboys should have drafted Steven Jackson when they had the opportunity. Wound up going to St. Louis. Had a nice day yesterday as Testaverde retreats on first down and then throws, and the pass a little bit behind Quincy Morgan. And now an update on Julius Jones and what he's looked like tonight, John.
Well, Bill Parcells said that he was going to work him, and he's carried the ball 20 times so far for 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he just shows great instincts, and he's always low and with good balance. I mean, that's a big thing. You see how his shoulders are always down, and he has good balance, and he can wait for the blocks to develop and then cut off them. I mean, he has played one heck of a game tonight.
Calvin Hill, the last rookie, 100 or more yards, 2 consecutive games, 3rd down and 6 now. Here come the Hawks. Cowboys do a nice job on the pickup, and Keyshawn Johnson makes the grab. So the Seahawks were coming. The line did its work. Hobbling off is Johnson, but it's a first down.
And I'll tell you who else did his work is watch Julius Jones here. This is the thing that you always worry about a running back. Can he pass protect? Can he pick up a blitz? Because if he can't do that, he can't play. And Julius Jones did it, and he did it perfectly to let Vinny Testaverde make that pass.
The safety Vieira was the pickup.
But that's the last thing that these rookie running backs pick up is pass protection.
From the 44, first down for the Dallas Cowboys. And that is caught by Witten in the tight end. Running laterally, picks up about 9 yards. 2nd and short upcoming as we tick down to the end of period 3. And here's Michelle.
Well, I spoke with Jerry Jones about Julius Jones. There's a lot of Jones there to talk about, but in talking to him, he said he was really debating, he and Parcells, whether or not to put Julius Jones on injured reserve when he got that scapula fracture. And they thought about it because they weren't sure how quickly he'd heal, Al, but they said they're so impressed by the way he battled through it and matured, and that his performances lately have been courageous.
Tough to keep up with the Joneses. But here's Julius again, and that should be enough for a first down.
Well, the one thing, because his injury was a scapula, he was able to do all his cardiovascular. I remember when we were down there the last time watching him in practice, they had him over on the other field, and he was probably working harder than anyone else was. And then, I mean, the shoulder injury is bad, but at least you can do all those cardiovascular things.
Right now, the play clock is dead even with the game clock, so they can let this tick down to the end of the quarter. Do not have to run a play.
And it looks like they all know that, don't they?
They looked up. Simultaneous. Even the atomic clock ticked down together. Whatever that means. End of 3. 29-17 Dallas, and Monday Night Football resumes from Seattle after this message from our ABC stations.
Minutes of punishment. 10 rounds of action. And sometimes you can describe them as the best rounds of the year. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN.
Third down and 5 from the 32-yard line. The pass is caught by Isaac Cruz, who loses the ball after picking up the first down, and it is picked up and run all the way back for a touchdown.
Trade away an all-star center. Oh, the defense from Christie. Bryant tries it again. Christie played him beautifully, but Bryant wouldn't take no for an answer.
Touchdown, Porter. Great job by that offensive line.
This to take the lead from 42.
They blocked it.
It was Langston Walker.
What a huge, huge play.
Friday Night Fight special event. With 44 bouts under his belt, Cootie Espada will try to teach a lesson to the 6th-ranked featherweight in the world, but Rocky Juarez is hoping to take over the classroom with his 15th knockout. Friday Night Fight special event on ESPN.
Seattle is the site. Al Michaels, John Madden, and Michelle Tafoya. Quest Field. Start the 4th quarter. ESPN has Sports Center as usual at the end of this game. All the updates. The Seattle Seahawks. Never been to a Super Bowl. Haven't won a postseason game since '84. But this year the expectations are very high, or at least have been. Here's Julius Jones. Big night to the 39-yard line. Julius Jones, coming off his 150-yard day against the Bears, has 147 on the ground tonight.
That's why you like an experienced offensive lineman. Watch Larry Allen here. It's a run to this side. You see the motion. Here comes the blitzer. He just steps out, picks up the blitzer, gets a lead block, and Julius Jones just goes right to that side. You know, Bill Parcells said that the thing about Julius Jones, it lets him balance his offense. He is in perfect balance now. 23 runs, 23 passes.
2nd and 4. And that's a great play there by Nico Kudavides, the linebacker, the rookie from Purdue. And at the beginning of the game, we talked about all of the injuries to the Seattle linebackers, with Chad Brown leading the way. They hope to have him back in a couple of weeks. So if you drew a chart, they would have their 5th, 6th, and 7th best linebackers in as starters.
Right, and these are the guys that should be playing the special teams for the Seahawks, and I think that's one of the things that the Cowboys have taken advantage of is these linebackers. And Ray Rhodes was saying that, you know, sometimes all these guys that he has in there, he has 3 middle linebackers.
3rd and 7. Vinny, flag, and that'll be an interference call. Marcus Trufant that time grabbing a hold of Terrence Copper. Easy call to make, and it'll be a 1st down.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 23. Automatic. 1st down.
Yeah, Terrence Copper, Bill Parcells was saying, is the most improved player on the team. He's a practice squad guy. He gets up, he plays special teams, and as Bill says, whenever a guy does well on special teams, then he gets to make the trip. Then if he gets to make the trip, then you're going to play him in the game. And he said, every time I put this guy in a game, he makes plays for us. Now, here's a guy that's made a whole bunch of plays, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep, I can't get that off. What's going on?
X marks the spot. 1st and 10. Vinny gets to the sideline, chased by Rashad Moore.
Vinny, not a great runner.
No.
Vinny, not one of the all-time scramblers. Vinny happy to get to the sideline and get out of bounds.
Very.
But I'll tell you, for 41 years old, I mean, just talking to him last night, I was talking to him on the field before. Have you ever seen a guy that looked better?
No.
I mean, and he plays that way. I mean, there's no way that you could tell that Vinny Testaverde. I mean, maybe on that last run there, you'd say, well, you know, he looks like a 40-year-old guy.
Wait a minute. Here's one other guy for you. Jerry Rice, I think, looks better.
Not bad. Not bad.
And stopped in his tracks that time is Julius Jones. But for a quarterback. Well, you know who also was, you think about the guys who played into their 40s. One guy's in the stadium tonight because he works on the Seattle radio broadcast. Warren Moon. Warren stayed in real good shape until the end.
And Warren was one of those guys. There he is right there. And he was one of those guys who played in Canada for a while and then came down and had a long career, and a long and great career in the NFL. I think you have to be good. I think you have to be tough, and I think you have to be a little lucky to not have the big injury.
Yeah, Moon, Flutie still active. 3rd and 14, and Dallas is going to take a timeout. Their first of the half. 12:19 left. Dallas by 12.
Simply the finest football on the planet. The top clubs. The elite players. In a quest for the ultimate prize of European football. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
Third down and 5 from the 32-yard line. The pass is caught by Isaac Cruz, who loses the ball after picking up the first down, and it is picked up and run all the way back for a touchdown.
Trade away an all-star center. A defense from Christie. Bryant tries it again. Christie played him beautifully, but Bryant wouldn't take no for an answer.
Great job by that offensive line.
This to take the lead from 42.
It blocked it.
It was Langston and Walker.
What a huge, huge play.
Friday Night Fight special event. With 44 bouts under his belt, Cootie Espada will try to teach a lesson to the 6th-ranked featherweight in the world, but Rocky Juarez is hoping to take over the classroom with his 15th knockout. Friday Night Fight special event on ESPN.
12 minutes, 19 seconds to play in the fourth quarter of Monday Night Football here on ESPN. The Dallas Cowboys, well, they're on the verge of pulling an upset in Seattle. They lead the Seahawks by a dozen. The 4-7 Cowboys pretty much need to win from here on out to the end of the regular season to have any shot at the playoffs. They may be taking that first step tonight.
As they try to at least get into field goal range here. Right now they'd be looking at a 55-yarder, which they probably would not attempt. Testaverde throws, intercepted. Big play by Vieira, the safety, coming up with the interception. On a 3rd and long. Then he gives it up, and the Seahawks will try to mount a big comeback.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh, the NFL on ESPN.
ESPN Sport Legends presents John McEnroe.
McEnroe is a New Yorker. He's a New Yorker in his crassness and his rudeness and his savvy, how cagey he is, how smart he is, how street smart.
A lot of what people have viewed as sort of classic McEnroe is classic New Yorker. You walk around the city in such a defensive crouch most of the time, you know. You have to protect yourself physically, you have to protect yourself emotionally.
Your skin gets thicker, which in a way is sad because you're sort of cynical of this whole thing. It was a sense of confusion about that, but it also seemed sort of exciting.
People like that he's so candid, I think.
Is that too goddamn far away for you to see? 4 feet too far to see?
There's an old saying, you can always tell a New Yorker, but you can't tell him much.
It was a busy week on the UEFA Champions League front, and now we know the identities of the 16 teams in the draw for the first knockout round. Our reaction to what happened on match day 6 on the next edition of ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass on Friday on ESPN.
Gerald Vieira with his first career interception, third year in the league. The Cowboys had scored on 5 consecutive possessions, and it ends right here.
Then he was trying to throw that one to the left, had a scramble out to the right, and he made a commitment to throw the ball to the right, and Barrera was just playing back there as a safety.
From the 28-yard line now. Hasselback to the outside. That's caught. Rice makes a catch. Jerry Rice with 6 catches tonight. Newman covers. Back to the interception we go.
Let's watch this again. We talked about Vinny coming back here. See, he's looking left, and now he doesn't have anything near. So as he starts to go here, he commits that he's going to throw the ball. Here's Barrera here. He's just staying back there as a safety, and you see he just gets a jump in the ball. There's only one receiver over there, 4 defenders. He knows he can go for it.
From the 43-yard line. Hasselback. Wide open is Jeremy Stevens. And Stevens, who was their #1 draft choice and has not been able to replace Itula Mealy as the starting tight end, flanks out, and he's in the game because Mealy was hurt earlier on a kickoff play. 32-yard gain.
You see, that's when you drop a zone right there. You're going to get a guy wide open. Here he is right here. He's in the slot. You see the wide receiver out here to this side. You see the zone is just dropped right there. And here he is out here on this side. Excuse me.
Down to the end zone, but out of the end zone, and a flag is thrown. Jackson contacted by Lance Frazier all the way down the sideline, and it's going to go against Frazier.
The Seahawks have something going now. They caught on that last one. They caught the Cowboys are running with the inside guy.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 30. Automatic first down.
Leaving the outside guy go free, and then you wonder when the Seahawks were going to start to work on Lance Frazier. We talked to Mike Holland yesterday. He said that's one thing we're going to do is we're going to work on him, and they really haven't seemed to. And I think Lance Frazier has improved also. Bill Parcells has given him a signal for uncatchable ball.
Thought it was overthrown too much. 19-yard penalty. Frazier put the arm bar on him. First and goal. And this is Alexander trying to chug his way to the end zone, just short.
And Alexander has a little making up to do here. This has not been it hasn't even been an average night for Sean Alexander. And the closer you get to the goal line, the better he is. I mean, he's a touchdown scoring machine, this guy.
But averaging less than 3 per toe tonight. Second down and goal. Double tight end setup here. And it doesn't look like he breaks the plane here, so it's third down.
And the Cowboys know that too. I'm really impressed with this Cowboy defense. They haven't been playing well all year. Remember last year they were #1 in defense, and they came into this game and they know that they have to stop the run, that they have to stop Sean Alexander, and they have done a heck of a job of plugging up that middle. Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator.
Womack is in the game. Normally a tackle in a tight end spot right here. Third down and goal. Off the fake. Hasselback rolling in trouble. Has to get lucky to the end zone and can't get Alexander. And they're really, I think, compelled to go for it on 4th down and goal here. A field goal. No,
the thing is, if you think you're going to go for it on 4th down, I think that 3rd down would have been a good running situation. But Mike Holmgren is thinking, well, I'm going to go for it on 4th down, so let's go play action pass. If they want to sell out against Sean Alexander, then we'll fake to him and we'll throw the ball. Sean Alexander didn't sell out on that run fake.
4th and goal. They come up tight. A little toss to Alexander, and Alexander is able to will his way into the end zone. Boy, it looked like he was going to get stopped. It looked like he ran into his own guy. Might not get in there, but he willed his way in.
Right, well, they tried that middle, and it had been plugged up. It had been plugged up all night. So they said, let's get to the outside. They get a good block there. Roy Williams gets knocked a little beyond Alexander so he can cut off that block. The guy that has to make this play is Roy Williams right there. When he doesn't make it, it's going to be a touchdown.
Brown for the point after. Seahawks make it a 5-point game. He had a lot of stuff going on that play. Looked like he was running into his own man. There's a penalty here on the extra point. Got it offside against Dallas on the kickoff. It'll be enforced. But you had Alexander. Looked like he was going to be stopped. Looked like he was running into his own guy. And
offside defense. The point's good. 5 yards. Will be assessed on the kickoff. Timeout.
Looked like the ball was coming loose as well. Take a look at this. Yeah.
I think you said it right. He willed himself in there, Al.
Big, big touchdown.
Three minutes of punishment. 10 rounds of action. And sometimes you can describe them as the best rounds of the year. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN.
Third down and 5 from the 32-yard line. The pass is caught by Isaac Cruz, who loses the ball after picking up the first down, and it is picked up and run all the way back for a touchdown.
Trade away an all-star center. A defense from Christie. Bryant tried it again. Christie played him beautifully, but Bryant wouldn't take no for an answer.
Great job by that offensive line. This to take the lead from 42.
They blocked it.
It was Langston Walker. What a huge, huge play.
The NBA on ESPN continues Friday. Allen Iverson and the 76ers, succeeding in the talent-filled East, face the Chicago Bulls. Sixers versus Bulls, live Friday. The NBA on ESPN.
Join ESPN for coverage of the UEFA Champions League season as Panathinaikos battles Eindhoven in match day 6 action.
Player of the year is as well. Kickoff now 3-yard line, Rashard Lee. And Rashard Lee takes it back up to the 32-yard line. And tonight we've had Sean Alexander mic'd up.
Oh my God! That was huge. Everybody was inside.
Alexander has had a hot and cold night as Testaverde has it dropped by Quincy Morgan, who was going down. Couldn't hang on. Second down and 10.
You know, it's interesting. You always talk about how turnovers kill you. The Cowboys had everything going. Vinny Testaverde throws that interception, and that puts the Cowboys down a little, gives the Seattle Seahawks a new life. They take the ball down and score a touchdown with it, and now we got a ball game again.
They have the momentum in a game in which Dallas really tries to keep its playoff hopes alive. Seattle's trying to stay in first place ahead of the Rams in the NFC West. Ooh, and Vinny will go down. Finally. That was Grant Wistrom. And you watched him for years. Speed. It's all about speed. And he was in there so quickly, Vinny got twisted around and then finally finished off.
You know, and it's about that 110 miles an hour, too, that he just keeps going. He didn't get him on the first shot. He starts outside, then he's going to come inside underneath Flozell Adams. Now watch, he kind of misses him here, but he keeps going, and right there, he just grabs him one more time, grabs that right ankle, and takes him down. Rice is saying that's what we needed. We needed that sack.
Well, Testaverde is the shaken up cowboy right here.
You see what Flozell Adams did to left tackle. You can't do. You can't jump out on that thing. You have to keep your inside foot up. Looks like they're taking Vinny out.
Well, he has to come out. I think he wanted to stay in, but because of an injury timeout, which is not a charged timeout, it stops the clock. And if that was the call here, then Henson does have to come in for at least one play. So he does.
Yeah, once the trainers come out on that field, then he has to go out.
Because that stops the clock.
And not only does he have to go out, but I mean, how about Drew Henson having to come in now on 3rd and long?
That's like coming into the 9th inning with the bases loaded, and you're trying to save a game, and the count is 3-0. 3rd and 20 here. So they give it to Jones on a draw, and look at this. Julius Jones picks up a good percentage with that 20, but not enough. 4th down, and they'll punt.
I think that was a good play call, a good run by Julius Jones, and it was a play that Drew Henson had to do, or Bill Parcells had to call. That was the play. And you wouldn't want him back there in a big pass rush running for his life. Do this, get a good punt. Your defense is playing well.
Matt McBriar to punt. Julius Jones now 154 yards on the ground. And the guy who used to play Australian rules football shanks one and gets a decent roll. It's picked up at the 23, and then the Dallas Cowboys don't recover the ball. The Seattle Seahawks coverage unit came down. I think it was Michael Boulware who touched it. There was a beanbag down earlier. A Cowboy may have touched it first.
To Seattle.
Yeah. The Cowboy touched it first, so therefore it's a free run for the Seattle guy.
Right, the minute the Cowboy touches it, that was pretty close. Dallas up 29-24 when we come back, and the Hawks have the football.
Head to the gridiron for NFL Sunday Night Football, where the Oakland Raiders upset their divisional rivals, the Denver Broncos, in the snow. Kerry Collins led the attack, throwing for 339 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Jerry Porter caught 3 of them, including the game winner, as the Raiders won 25-24. ESPN celebrates the Oakland Raiders, our athletes of the week.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh. The NFL on ESPN. Simply the finest football on the planet. The top clubs. The elite players. In a quest for the ultimate prize of European football. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
Friday Night Fight special event. With 44 bouts under his belt, Cody Espada will try to teach a lesson to the 6th-ranked featherweight in the world, but Rocky Juarez is hoping to take over the classroom with his 15th knockout. Friday Night Fight special event on ESPN.
A reminder for our Latin American audience, coming up this Thursday, another edition of NFL Seminar, where Alvaro Martin and Raul Alegre break down the NFL.
6 unanswered points after trailing 14-3. Now in a dogfight, Seattle down by 5. Hawks have the football at the 28-yard line, first down. To the outside, Hasselbeck may have had that one tipped. Back to the punter, you can see where the Cowboy touches the ball, and that will end the play in effect right here.
Yeah, you'll see 29 here, Keith Davis, and the ball is going to bounce up and hit him right in the chest. Now, once it hits him, it's really a free ball for the Seattle Seahawks. They can pick it up and run with it, and even if they fumble, see, that's a free play there, because even if they fumble, the ball comes back to where it hit the Cowboy on the punt team.
Same thing as a line of scrimmage play where the defense is offside. A free play concept. No loss. Second down and 10 from the 28-yard line. Hasselbeck. Alexander out of bounds. 33. Bill Parcells. Through the years, when he has a lead in the fourth period, almost unbeatable, 79-1, leading by 12 or more points in the fourth quarter, which was the case here tonight at 29-17. That one loss back in '85 when he was the coach of the Giants to the Browns.
Well, you know, the one thing that you look at Bill Parcells' career with the Giants and the Patriots and the Jets here, he's always had pretty good defense.
3rd and 5. And that's Darrell Jackson making the catch. He's had good defense, and he's had that runner that could take him to the final gun too.
Boy, Terrence Newman was really off at Jackson on that play. It was just man-to-man, and that's really too much cushion, because you can see where the first down line is. Jackson knows where he has to go to run that slant. Hasselbeck knows it, and he hits him there. I think Terrence Newman is a better corner than that. And if you're a better corner than that, and you're man-to-man on third down, you can't give that much cushion.
Jackson 8 catches for 108 yards. And then they toss it back to Maurice Morris as they give Alexander a break. Morris, their number 2 pick, third-year guy out of Oregon, who's been running back kickoffs for the Seahawks. And see some action out of the backfield here. Here comes Alexander again.
Yeah, I was talking about the running game and the running back, and to me, it's when you do it to win the game. You know, how do you run in the fourth quarter? How do you stop the run in the fourth quarter? This is when you need these players. If they're great players, they play great now and win games.
2nd and 4. Hasselbeck has that one caught by Jerry Rice. Oh, can you believe that?
No, because Bobby Ingram was in the same area. Jerry Rice and Bobby Ingram were in the same area. I wasn't sure who Hasselbeck was even throwing that one to. We talk about great players that make plays. You see Jerry Rice is the outside receiver right there. And you see Ingram is coming across. Ingram thought he was throwing to him. Jerry Rice just cuts right in front of him and catches the ball. He got so excited the old mouthpiece came flying out.
33-yard gain. He's over 100 yards. It's first down and 10. And Hasselbeck throws, and that is for Jerry Rice, but he's covered that time by Frazier. And John, when you look at a play like that, I mean, when the 2 receivers are in the same neighborhood, normally somebody has screwed up the pattern.
Well, and someone did screw up that pattern, because there's no way that you would ever draw up a pattern where you would put 2 receivers together.
So what would your guess be?
My guess would be it was Jerry Rice.
Really?
Yeah, I would guess it was Jerry Rice, because, you know, he's a new guy. And you see, because he did, because I think Ingram was supposed to run a corner, and I think Jerry Rice was supposed to run either a slant or a cross.
On 2nd and 10. And that is caught by Urban. Jeremy Urban scores the touchdown. And they'll go for 2 to make it a 3-point game.
Mike Holmgren says we're going to work on Lance Frazier, who thought it would be Jeremy Urban. He is is a big, good-looking wide receiver, though. And you see, he's too big for Frazier. He just kind of takes him on physically. And once he gets to that position inside, Matt Hasselbeck knows that he has an easy throw. That's what you like about these big receivers. They can run right through a small defensive back's coverage.
Jeremy Irvin out of Trinity in Texas, living a dream. Saying before the game he couldn't believe he's on Monday Night Football, and he's giving them the lead. Two-point play here. Caught. Jackson up by 3. The Seattle Seahawks have come from behind, big time, 32-29. Third down and 5 from the 32-yard line. The pass is caught by Isaac Cruz, who loses the ball after picking up the first down, and it is picked up and run all the way back for a touchdown.
Trade away an all-star center. A defense from Christie. Bryant tries it again. Christie played him beautifully, but Bryant wouldn't take no for an answer.
Great job by that offensive line. This to take the lead from 42.
They blocked it.
It was Langston Walker. What a huge, huge play.
Three minutes of punishment. 10 rounds of action. And sometimes you can describe them as the best rounds of the year. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN.
It was a busy week on the UEFA Champions League front, and now we know the identities of the 16 teams in the draw for the first knockout round. Our reaction to what happened on Matchday 6 on the next edition of ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass on Friday on ESPN.
Seahawks started hot. Cowboys then took over in the second and third quarters. But the Seahawks have just regained the lead. It's 32-29 Seattle. With 5:29 to go and the kickoff coming down to Rashard Lee. And Lee brings it back up to the 23. We've been talking about the NFC and how close it is. Right now, division leaders Philly, Atlanta, they'd have the byes. Green Bay and Seattle at the moment on top. 2 wild card leaders are Minnesota and St. Louis, and then that whole hassle of teams at 5 and 7, 5 of them in fact, and Dallas trying to be the 6th. In the meantime, we've got Rice and Ingram, and then Jeremy Irvin, who's on the practice squad, made his first career start a month ago, winds up scoring the go-ahead touchdown. Now Testaverde tries to lead him back. Good defense there. Morgan has it extracted by Ken Lucas, but there's a flag down in the secondary.
You're watching that Jerry Rice dancer. That doesn't look like a big old wide generation gap there, does there?
Nope.
A 20-year veteran. I mean, some of these guys were like 2 or 3 years old when he started in the NFL.
A kid like Jeremy Irvin, and Rice hates that call. You can tell who that call will be against.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 21. Automatic first down.
That's Ken Lucas.
And Lucas is a good corner, and what he does is he loses position. See, and once you lose that position, then you have to try and go through the guy, and if you do it after the ball gets there, it's okay. If you do it a split second before it gets there, it's a penalty.
Here's Jones. Marcus Trufant, the first one. Wisterman at the end.
You know, again, that's Grant Wistrom coming all the way across the field, and that's the effort. I think when the Seattle Seahawks went after Grant Wistrom, this is the kind of play they want in this kind of situation. A guy that lines up on this side, goes inside, the ball's going across the field. You could pull up anytime, but run all the way across the field and run right through the ball carrier.
And he's been playing hurt. He was hurt at the beginning of the year. Played by a foot injury, knee injury. Second down and 10. 6 defensive backs from here. And that's Keyshawn Johnson who can't handle it. Third down and 10.
Hey, one thing, you look at, momentum. Vinny Testaverde throws that interception to Vieira. They get the ball back, they score, and they just kind of take over the game again. And then you just feel that the Cowboys have lost it, and they're fighting to get back into this game.
That was the fulcrum. Game went from the Cowboys right over to the Seahawks. Third down and 10. Jason Witten lines up in the backfield here. They keep him in for pass protection. Testaverde has it intercepted by Ken Hamlin. Two picks last week against Buffalo. They call him the Hammer, and he just may have delivered one.
Ray Rhodes is really mixing up these coverages well. See, this is a zone. You have the corner bumping. Hamlin just sitting back there and reading. See, it's that cover 2, the corner bumps. Hamlin's just sitting back there and reading. And just like the other interception, he sees Vinny look, he sees Vinny throw, and then he gets the jump on it. Big, big, big play.
From the 41. Thinking about the clock and looking ahead, Dallas has 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Testaverde this season, no picks in the first, then 3 in the second, 5 in the third, and the fourth quarter has really been tough for him.
And usually that was because they were playing uphill, because they were behind, they didn't have the running game and those types of things, but that's not an excuse for tonight.
Right.
And both those interceptions were the same thing. It was a zone coverage, just throwing it high over his receiver's head to a safety.
Last 3 possessions with Dallas: interception, punt, interception.
There's the 8 up.
High pass caught. Jackson tackled by Newman. Stays inbounds, keeps the clock rolling.
I think that's what Seattle has to do, because they need a first down here, and they're going to have to throw to get it, because the Cowboys are just daring them to throw the ball. They have 8 men up. They got everyone close to the line of scrimmage to stop the run. If they're giving them anything, it's a pass. And I think if the Seahawks are going to get a first down, again, they tried it on second down, they have to come back on third down and throw the ball.
Big conversion attempt here. If they can make it, they're going to force Dallas to use its timeouts on defense. And it's caught by Ingram, and then Ingram is stopped short of the first down. He is stopped there by Nathan Jones.
This is a big decision here for Mike Holmgren too. Do you go for it on fourth down, or do you attempt a field goal? He doesn't look like he has any move to attempt a field goal.
You'd be looking at about a 49-yard field goal.